Hey, this is Derek with UFMTiger.com, back from another video. Today I want to talk about the Wiim Ultra. Just got one hooked up. I've got it in my office setup. This is something I paid for myself. I was not given the unit by Wiim, and so any of these thoughts are my own, and just how my impressions of this device right out of the gate. First off, the big elephant in the room is the fact that this device does not have AirPlay, while my previous Wiim devices, my Wiim Minis and my Wiim Pro, both support AirPlay. And so if you need AirPlay directly on the device, you're not going to get it with the Ultra. I'm not sure that they're going to add it down the road. There was an article in Digital Trends saying that it would never be added, so we'll see. Seems like there could be a way around it, but they're saying there's not. Secondly, how I get around it is I have a Airport Express. It's a first gen version, so it does AirPlay 1, so multi-room audio would be out. But the way I wanted to use it was by maybe streaming Apple Music or a podcast or that kind of thing from my phone to it. And it's connected to the optical input of the Ultra. And so that gives me a backdoor into AirPlay. I don't use it that much. I'm not that concerned about album art not being on there. The display has a VU meter and another kind of graphical display. Kind of gives you something to look at on there if you want to have something on the screen. So it's not that big a deal, but for me at least. And so that's how I'm getting around that issue. The other thing you can do if you have another Wiim, you can AirPlay to that device and then set up a link from that device to the Ultra, and it will share the same signal. That's because the Wiim devices all have multi-room audio options, so you can share different devices around the house. And so that's another way around it. If you have another Wiim device, there's probably old Apple TVs around. There's second gen Airport Express. Those have some of those were updated to AirPlay 2. And so if you need multi-room audio, you could go that route. I think Belkin makes a streamer. I have one laying around here. I have a Gen 2 Airport Express, but I decided to go with AirPlay 1 because it is lossless, at least up to, I think, 2448 with Apple Music. So that's why I went with the older version. So first off, I thought I would discuss, this is the Wiim Ultra. It has multiple inputs. It has a line in for RCAs. It has a phono input. It has a sub out, a regular RCA out, a coax out, an optical input, a HDMI ARC input, and a USB out to a DAC, or it actually will read audio files off of a thumb drive, from what I understand. I haven't connected that and I haven't tried that yet, but it is a feature that I've read about. So without further ado, I'm just going to show you how I'm using this. First off, DLNA, that's a type of, you can get that on Audirvana, Logitech Media server. I use both. I hit play here. Turn that down so you can't hear it, otherwise they may take it off of YouTube. So it's got, as you can see, 2496, and it's playing. And so that's one way you can use this. So if you're sitting at a computer, you have Audirvana, you have LMS. For Audirvana, there's also an app that you can use to control. I think Audirvana has a fee now, but the app is also allows you to control. So if I want to change to the next song, I just hit a button on there and I'm good to go. So you can kind of see, I'm not sure, let's see if the Wiim Ultra comes with its own very basic remote control. So let's see if I try to skip what'll happen there. Yeah, it does not look like it will skip on DLNA, so you have to control that from your phone. At least that's what it appears. Secondly, my main way that I'm going to use this application and the Wiim Ultra is for Amazon Music. So I have an account with Amazon Music, and let's say I want to listen to it that way. I'm going to set this up to play to the Ultra. The Wiim Ultra, or the Amazon Music app. This is how I'm mainly using streaming my music to the Wiim Ultra. My favorite way to do it, and it's the most convenient way to do it as well. So I have the the app here. You can go into the app and it will send even like ultra high res audio as well. So let's say I want to switch to one that I know is high resolution. If you look down here, 96 kilohertz, you have the ability to kind of flip in and out of different services. There's Spotify on here, there's Qobuz. Like I said, there's no Airplay. The way I'm getting around that, and this is how I would do it anyway, so I don't really miss Airplay on this device. What I do is I'm going to use the iPad to play music. So the way I do that, so this device has the ability to switch different. Also, if you're playing music, you can keep it on this thing that can show you the music. And you can also, I think there's one other, you can change the EQ here to flat, acoustic, etc. I'm not going to go into some of the EQ options, and there's also room correction, things like that. I have not tried those out because I'm using a receiver that has all that built into it. But so I want to get back to the main screen here, and let's say I want to choose line input. So I want to go to so this is optical in, and like let's say I want to use a Wiim Mini with this, and I've got the Wiim Mini connected to the optical input, and so I'm going to stream from Apple Music. I'm going to choose the Wiim Mini, and now I'm going to be streaming directly into the optical input. So you can hear that. And so the optical input works great if you have, I don't know, a CD player or something with optical input, or you really have to have Airplay and you don't want to get rid of this device. You can always connect a Wiim Mini to it and get optical in. I'm not leaving the Wiim Mini in here. I'm just showing you for demonstration purposes. You can see the readout there. There's also, if you want to go back, there's also this readout you can use as well that shows the music streaming. Both are kind of cool. Then there's the I've tried the phono input. So, and this device here also has a phono input. Neither one of these are the highest grade. This will give you analog in and out. This is going to change it to digital. So that could be a downside. I prefer having it here so I can send the audio stream all over the house where I have other Wiim Mini devices. So I'm going to just change the input here to phono. Yes. And so that's phono input. And like I said, it gives you the best of, I think it sounds really good. I'm in this room. This is kind of my office for goofing off. This is not my main setup in the living room, but overall, I'm pretty happy with that sound quality. And if I want to change to the line input, I have multiple options here. So if I want to listen to radio, this is coming from my Tivoli Pal. So I have the ability to listen to local radio, talk shows. There's a local jazz station that's really good. So I have that option. If I want to go to the second input, that is actually my, that's my iPad where it's connected to the topping DAC. So listen to that. So I have, and then I have another option here, and that is, that's actually my computer. So let's say I want to show you how to use this app. It's called Satellite. So now on my phone, I'm already using the Wiim Mini, but let's say I want to switch this to Mac Mini. Next, I want to show you how I stream. This is Airplay, but it's kind of a backward way of getting Airplay, like I mentioned earlier. So I'm running this satellite app on my computer here. So I have Airfoil Satellite there. You can see it says Mac Mini. That's where it's going to send audio to. And now I'm just choosing that as an option on my phone. You can see here, Cave +1. So this is the Wiim Mini Plus. It'll let you send it to any of your devices. So I'm going to undo this and just do it directly to the Mac Mini. I'm going to hit play. So it's almost instantaneous. So I don't feel like I'm losing anything there. And so those are the main ways that I'm using this device. So you can switch between inputs using the remote. Mainly what I'm going to be doing is Amazon Music, and on the iPad I use Apple Music. And so those will give me two options. The reason I decided to get this rather than just use the iPad is just so I could free up the iPad if I need to take notes. I want to do something else with it, use it as a separate screen for my Mac Mini, that kind of thing. And so I don't want to always have it tied up for music. And so that's one of the reasons. I'm not using the ARC. That's because I have a regular receiver over here that I'm using. I'm using a splitter out of the Wiim Ultra. One goes to my tube amp, the other one goes to the Denon receiver. And so overall, I'm really happy with it. One of the other things I bought it for was to connect my AKG K701s, and those also sound really good. I like the sound of this headphone amp. I'm not saying it competes with my Heed can amp that I used to have in here, but I wanted a solid state option in addition to my tube amp, and this gave it to me. And so that was one of the reasons that made this worthwhile purchase. Other than just the fact that I can control Wiim. Like, for example, Echo, play the Beatles on Derek's Wiim Ultra.
Here's some music by the Beatles on Amazon Music.
And so you can see, you can have it right there on the screen in seconds. And you can also use the remote for Amazon. So play Pink Floyd. As you can see, it's changed to Pink Floyd. And that's just using the voice option on the remote. And so I'm really happy with it. I know a lot of people will probably not be happy that they don't have Airplay. I found several ways around that, and so I'm not really concerned with it. But if you have any questions on this device, please let me know. This is my kind of preliminary. I just got it hooked up and I kind of thought about how I wanted to use the inputs and whatnot before I connected everything. So pretty happy with this setup. Like I said, the Wiim Mini is not going to stay in here, but it is an option for people that, already have a Wiim Mini and this is replacing it. You can still use the Wiim Mini in this setup for Airplay if you desire. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.